The Season 2 finale of Severance is finally here, and once again, the ending went far beyond anything anyone expected. In the previous episode, the highly intelligent John finally uncovered Helly's true identity. She wasn't the work persona Helly at all. She was actually Helly's outside persona. So John threatened Helly's outside persona's life, forcing Irving to bring the real Helly back. Although he successfully got Helly back, his actions completely enraged Irving. He ordered John to stand up and announced in front of everyone that from this moment on, John would be immediately fired for the attempted murder of a coworker and would never be allowed to return to the company. The company would remove everything he had ever used. This meant John would be permanently erased, as if he had never existed. For John, this was essentially the ultimate death. But faced with all of this, there wasn't the slightest trace of fear in his eyes. As Irving made the official announcement, John's work persona was permanently shut down. After everything John had done, the outside Helly's surveillance plan completely fell apart. The board immediately issued an order. The outside Helly was no longer allowed to enter the severed floor, because for her, it was simply too dangerous. Although the outside Helly desperately wanted to see Mark again, and even insisted she could continue pretending, in the end, she had no choice but to obey. After all, Mark was working on the company's most important project. So for now, they had no choice but to give him the real Helly back. And just like that, Helly's work persona finally returned to the company. But she was still completely confused, with no idea what had happened. All she remembered was causing chaos at the gala, and then suddenly being forced underwater by John. The next time she opened her eyes, she was already back inside the company's elevator. Irving explained to everyone that Lumen's executives had always conducted secret inspections. So this time, Helly's outside persona, as one of the company's executives, was simply there to see whether they were working seriously, and had no other purpose. Helly was completely stunned. She never could have imagined that her hateful outside persona had been impersonating her for so long. For a moment, she simply couldn't accept it. But what everyone found even harder to accept was that John had simply misunderstood the outside Helly's true intentions, yet received such a horrifying punishment. There were now only 3 desks in the office. Even John had been completely removed from the group photo. It was as if he had truly never existed. Jason couldn't accept it. Whenever a normal employee left, the company would throw them a retirement party. But John had devoted his entire life to his work, and in the end, he received nothing. So everyone demanded that the company at least hold a funeral for John. Irving told them that as long as everyone continued making progress on their work, he would submit the request to the board. Not long after, John's funeral was officially approved. The 3 of them would gather in the break room to mourn their departed friend. As John's best friend, Jason was the first to stand up and remember their time together. As his emotions began to overwhelm him, he nearly burst into tears. After the memorial ended, the company even prepared a watermelon carved to look like John's head. Everyone was free to eat it, as a way of remembering their departed friend. Mark was the first to take a bite, and surprisingly, it tasted pretty good. Jason then cut off one of the ears and started eating it, but Helly couldn't bring herself to take a bite. The whole thing just felt way too creepy. After everyone else had left, Jason remained behind, refusing to leave, because he clearly remembered something John had once told him. If anything ever happened to him, Jason needed to take a closer look around the break room. Jason immediately looked around. Before long, he noticed that one of the paintings on the wall appeared to have been moved. He removed the painting, and sure enough, there was a note hidden behind it. An elevator was drawn on the note. It was the exact same elevator that John's outside persona had repeatedly drawn. And on the back of the note, the elevator's exact location was written down. It turned out John had secretly done far more than anyone realized. He had even managed to uncover the location of this mysterious elevator. Jason immediately told Mark and Helly what he had found. According to the information John left behind, the mysterious elevator was located in an area they had never reached before, and the elevator traveled downward. The 3 immediately began to suspect that Mark's missing wife in the outside world might be hidden on the floor below them. So they decided to find a chance to investigate the area. But before that, Mark felt there was one more thing. He had to confess to Helly. He pulled Helly into a bathroom stall and gave her a very serious apology. Because during their previous team retreat, Mark had slept with Helly's outside persona inside a tent.
I mean, obviously, I thought it was you. I'd been having those feelings since, before the OTC. And so when she, I had no idea, okay?
Although Mark's words could barely be considered a confession of love, Helly was extremely upset after hearing them. She sat alone in a corner, feeling worse the more she thought about it. Memories of the past flashed through her mind one after another. Between her and Mark, their love had always been real. But suddenly, Helly finally realized something. She stormed over to Mark and told him exactly what was on her mind.
What sucks is that she got to have that and I didn't.
Hey, do you want me to, describe what happened? I feel like you have every right.
No, I don't want her memory. I want my own.
Only then did Mark realize that the reason Helly was angry was because she was jealous, and to create a new memory belonging only to Helly and Mark. Helly had already picked out the perfect location. She brought Mark to an abandoned office. Then she connected 2 massive dust covers together, and just like that, an extremely simple tent was complete. The two crawled inside the tent. They could feel both of their hearts beating faster and faster. 10 minutes later, the two walked out of the office with their hair completely messed up. At this point, they could finally be considered a real couple. As they continued walking, Mark couldn't resist trying to spend a little more intimate time with Helly. But just then, Helly suddenly noticed in shock that Mark's nose was bleeding. The two immediately found the assistant manager and had it quickly treated. After a brief examination, the assistant manager found nothing abnormal with Mark's physical condition. The two assumed they had simply gotten a little too carried away earlier, so neither of them dared to say anything more. But what they didn't know was that Mark's sudden nosebleed was actually caused by Mark's outside persona, who was desperately trying to send him a message. That's all for this episode. Who would have thought that John, after being completely erased by the company, had already left behind a crucial clue about the mysterious elevator? And as strange symptoms begin appearing in Mark's body, his outside persona seems to be trying to send him some kind of important message. What other secrets of Lumon will they uncover next? See you next time.